I felt amazing to get the Hollywood Film Award this weekend for being breakout actress. I didn't see any of this coming. I'm so grateful. It felt wonderful.
How'd you prepare for this role? What did you draw upon experience-wise to give life to this character?
Oh man, for Hap Jackson in Mudbound, I basically drew from my real life experience. From a child at 5 years old till I was 13, growing up in Washington, D.C., I was sent down south to work in the tobacco fields. My family is rooted in the South, in North Carolina, so we had access to some hard work during the summer. So as a child, I've actually experienced being in oppressive conditions, working with the land, with my hands, getting a small check and not even getting the money because your grandma would take the money to contribute to the food. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it was like that. I asked the wardrobe people not to wash my clothes. You know, I didn't have ice cubes in my water. I didn't sit in the cooling tent. You know, I turned the AC off in my hotel room. You know, stuff like that, because that would inform me for the character.
Well, I've been black all my life, so there's that. So there's that. No, but my grandfather, this is basically his life. The only thing different is Ronzel went to World War II and my grandfather went to the Korean War, but it was basically the same thing. So for my grandfather to fight all these hardships, and for me to now be able to be on the red carpet telling his story, like, you know what I'm saying?
Pretty dope. Did you talk to him and did you talk to him about this role?
I did. But he didn't, I don't think he fully grasped the fact that I was like studying him to do something with it, which makes it great.
So how do you decompress from playing a heavy role like this? Because it's a lot. So how do you, once the director says cut, what do you do?
Whiskey. No, jokes. But we had such a safe box to work in that when it got really tough, like we could just go in for a hug right afterwards. Like even though Jonathan Banks looks like a super villain by the end of the movie, the guy who plays Pappy, on my hard days, that guy had tears in his eyes. Like when they didn't want to let me out of the front door, he was like, you know what? I can't keep doing this. I got like 3 more of these and we're done. Like, you know, you gotta love that. Like when people are around you and they really love and respect you, like that's cool.
The camaraderie. So did you guys hang out afterwards and what'd you guys do?
Well, me and Gary did. Me and Gary, you know,
you and Gary did.
Bring everybody. You feel me? But yeah, me and Gary definitely. We chilled out a lot.
I guess I just went back to how I was, you know, as a little brother. Well, I wasn't as responsible as my character was, but I guess I pulled from how my grandfather was. My grandfather was a very, very hard-working man, a manual labor type of guy, which I am not at all. So I guess I pulled a little bit from me and a little bit from my grandfather.
Jamie saw in a different way, and when his eyes were on me, I felt like I was no longer invisible.
I seen you sniffing after him. Maybe Henry is too thick to notice, but I ain't.
You better open your eyes, big brother. You're so busy worrying about yourself and your farm, you can't even see your own wife is miserable.
They work this land all they life.
I used to walking away from the fight. Not no more.
This land that never would be theirs.
You don't need to go, Jamie.
I can't stay here.
They worked until they sweated.
You'll be okay.
They sweated until they bled. They bled until they died. Died clawing at the hard, brown back. That would never be theirs.
What was it like working with Jason and Miss Mary J. Blige?
Oh, I love Mary. I love Mary. She's so sweet. And I love Jason too. Jason, well, we're both from New Orleans, and he's definitely more New Orleans than I am because his energy levels are so high. You can hear him now. and Mary was so sweet. She was not this, you know, super mega star that everyone's used to. She was, you know, she wasn't Mary. You know, she was, in my mind, she was my mom, and she was this completely different person. And she was so sweet to work with, and at Sundance, she was, you know, so loving.
It was amazing. She was such a great person to work with, and I'm so glad that I got to work with such a monumental person like her. And I felt like when we were on set, her being my mother and all, we got to really bond, on that mother-daughter relationship on set and off set.
Did you learn anything from working with an icon like her?
I learned that, oh God, there's so many things. She really taught me how to like kind of like appreciate the moment and like what you have and all, because like even though she's such a big star, she's so humble about it.
We would joke, on set. I remember Mary yelled "cut" when she wasn't supposed to. Like, that's not your job, that's the director's job. And we just laughed about it.